Hi guys, welcome back to another great episode of Whiskey Wednesday. I don't know about you, but spring is in the air and it has changed my mood completely. Honestly, I'm a different person than I was a couple months ago. This winter was like Jack Nicholson in The Shining, okay? My wife was actually afraid of me. Now I'm like Jack Nicholson in Bucket List. I'm putting check marks next to everything I've ever wanted to do. Planning a trip to Bhutan, going skydiving. I even tapped my maple trees and made my own maple syrup. Now, if you're asking yourself, why is that on my bucket list? Then you need to get out of here, okay? Just go. Because maple syrup is one of the greatest flavors on earth. And if you can get it from your own trees, then why the heck wouldn't you? Well, besides transitioning out of my isolated father turns into a psychotic killer phase, I've also transitioned to my April bottles, as should you. There's nothing more complimentary to a change of season than the right spirit. And if you don't agree, then you get out of here too. Okay, sorry, I'm just not used to being around people. Please stay. And if you don't agree, well, maybe I'll change your mind with this tasting. Today, we're tasting through the April bottles from Spirits Network's Bottle of the Month Whiskey membership. That's right, we've decided to give people a look behind the curtain and reveal what our members are actually receiving from us, picked out by yours truly. For American whiskey members, we have not one, but two bottles, incredibly special ones this month. Barrel Dovetail and the Kings County Empire Rye. Oh, those are good ones. For the Scotch lovers, we sent out Glenmorangie 15 and 18. And for our World Whiskey members, the Glen Breton 19 years old. An amazing Canadian whiskey, which I know you're gonna love. Let's get this party started. Before I dive into this tasting, I'd like to introduce my guest for the day. She's a renowned spirits expert who makes sure all of those craft brands can be found at your local stores. A spirits industry veteran, and my good friend, Heather Dolland Tamem.
Nice.
Welcome, Heather.
So happy to be here with you, Fabian. So excited. Looking forward to this.
We've got quite a few bottles to taste. I hope you're ready.
Absolutely, I am.
Now, we're going to taste a lot of craft spirits today. You are in this craft spirits realm.
Sure.
You've been in it for a while. What drew you into this?
For essentially 9 years, I had this dual career, one as a brand ambassador for the mega brands, the other as an environmental consultant. Got to the point where I really just wanted to focus on the craft brands and present these brands in a meaningful way. And so I wrote a book on the boom of craft spirits in New York, interviewed 30 distillers throughout New York State, and became very much a craft spirits evangelist.
I like that. At Spirits Network, we curate bottles that stick to your taste profile.
Okay.
Because I got a trick to decipher what you will like, right? I mean, you know, I'm no magician.
I'm curious.
I've got
my attention.
I've got a set of questions that I
All right.
ask, and then based on your answers, I'm going to guess what you will like the best.
All right.
Here we go.
All right.
Do you like eggs or pancakes for breakfast?
Eggs.
Okay. Barbecue, do you like it?
Yes.
Okay, eggs, barbecue. Lemon or ginger?
That's almost a 50-50, but I think I'll lean towards lemon.
Okay, maple syrup or apple pie?
That is hard. Can I have my maple syrup in my apple pie?
Uh-huh.
We'll go with apple pie.
Okay,
Okay.
but you still love maple syrup.
I do.
Last question. When you go to an amusement park, is it the Gravitron or the Ferris wheel?
For sure, the Gravitron. I mean, what's the point? We're going for
She's
excitement.
intense.
Exactly.
I already can tell that she'll prefer one over the other. Let's see. But first, we got to start with a cocktail.
For sure.
Let's go.
That would be awesome.
Okay, Heather. Our members got two bottles this month. A Glenmorangie 18-year-old, which we'll taste in a minute, and a 15-year-old. So I love the 15 neat, but I guess you're here to prove me that it could also be used in a cocktail.
For sure.
All right, well, tell me all about it, because I'm curious.
So in the 15, there are really wonderful notes of sherry and that bourbon cask finish. It is absolutely present. And I thought of teas. Growing up in Grenada, one of the traditions that we had inherited from Britain was drinking tea. We are very avid tea drinkers. I am a very avid tea drinker, and I tend to generally incorporate teas into my cocktails. I tried black tea and I tried chamomile tea, And the beauty in the chamomile, it was just balanced, it was beautiful, everything you want in a cocktail,
Scotch
right?
plus memory equals a great cocktail. I
For
love
sure. I like to also infuse my simple syrups. That is generally where I would impart most of the flavor into my cocktails. And so for this particular one, we did a chamomile infused simple syrup. And for me, I had the loose leaf chamomile. However, if you have a tea bag, like the little chamomile tea bag is perfectly fine, right? And all you're doing is equal parts of the tea and the sugar. And then we're going to be adding the lemon because it's a very flavor-filled scotch, but still delicate. And so the lemon I thought was perfect with it, plus a little bit of the Regan's orange.
I gotta
bitters.
tell you, I'm a little afraid because, as you
Why?
say, it's very delicate.
Yeah, you don't
And
need
I'm just afraid that it's gonna ruin its beautiful complexity.
Trust me
Right.
on this one.
I'm in your hands. I'm in your hands.
Trust me on this one. So
Very
to
good.
start, we'll get some ice. And so if you have a rocks glass, that would be amazing. So you fill your glasses up with ice. There you go. So this is quite a lot of ice. I admit that, yes, it's not an error, only because my cocktails, I like to say that I make them meaningfully. So I always use at least 2 ounces of the spirit. So this for the Glenmore, yes, right? So
I mean, I like that cocktail already. I can tell you this.
what's not to love?
When the cocktail is just too small, too tiny, what's the point?
All right, so now we're going to do 1 ounce of our chamomile simple syrup.
I like the color
And
of it.
again, it's equal parts of your chamomile tea that you've steeped, along with
It smells so good.
sugar. It does, right?
Oh,
It's a beautiful thing. And then we're going with 1 ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice. And again, don't be scared, I promise. It'll be wonderful.
no, I'm not nervous anymore.
Yeah, this is gonna be good. And then we are going to do a dash
Right.
of the...
Just a bit, right?
Yeah, just a smidge.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
Got that in there. And now we're going to do a little bit of a stir because we want to make sure that we've integrated all of this beautifully, right? I mean, certainly if you wanted to use a shaker, you most certainly can. I think many times when I make a cocktail, I would do that. But for this particular cocktail, it's not entirely necessary, not at all. And then we are going to add our...
Oh, you want to dress it up?
Why not, right? Life is short. So we'll make it all as attractive as possible. So I think we'll just
Beautiful.
do this here. We'll just on the top, right?
Simple
That'll
cocktail.
work out easy.
But you know, I usually say a 3-ingredient cocktail is the best, right? But in your case, it's more than 3 because your simple syrup is already pretty well worked up. But you know, you're a magician in a way.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have good inspiration.
Let's see, members.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Wow, that's a meaningful.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Meet me at the bar.
That's the name of it?
That is the name.
Meet me at the bar.
Cheers.
I like it. It is citrusy, but I still see the scotch in there.
Right.
That's what
It
I
comes
like about
through.
your cocktail. Absolutely. And then there's that tea element. I like it. This is a very good harmonious drink. This is a meet me at the bar, right?
Yes, it is.
I say now, you meet me at the tasting table.
Done. I'll meet you there.
Okay, are you ready for this?
I sure am. Excited.
Well, I am, because you don't see this every day. You see, we've got several memberships on the Spirits Network. This is part of the World Whisky membership, where we would send you a whiskey from Taiwan, another one from France, another one from Ireland, and so on. Today, it's a bit different because it's a single malt, and it's a 19-year-old single malt from Canada. So I'm curious to see how you'll be tasting this, and if it will be any of your liking. So this is made in Nova Scotia at the Glenora Distillery,
Yes.
a very pioneer in the single malt making world of North America.
You know, it's interesting because for me, typically, huge cocktail drinker, I would never reach for a single malt. And so I am really looking forward to this entire experience because the notes on this, they're all the notes that I typically would enjoy in a spirit.
I'm walking into a candy store right now.
Maybe that.
Bubble gum, candied apple.
Yes, dried fruit.
Well, let's see. Quite biscuity. I mean, it's serious. That's a big single malt.
So one of the things that I love to do is just pull a little bit of air over my tongue after I've sipped the spirit. And there are all these little notes on there that I'm actually really very much enjoying.
But it remains light and easy, meaning it's very much a spring type of single malt, I feel.
Sure.
I like the refreshing nose
Yes.
and the long-lasting spirit. All right, number 2 is Scotland, right?
Yes.
So we're getting into known territories. Glenmoray 18-year-old, which is the other bottle that the Scotch whiskey members got.
Indeed.
This is a truly sipping single malt Scotch whiskey. Cheers.
Indeed. Cheers.
Let's see.
Oh my.
Ah, this is
Yes.
a luscious nose.
Oh,
Luscious.
I might be a convert after all. Oh, that is really, really beautiful. The bourbon barrels on this, they're so apparent. My goodness.
Ex-bourbon barrel,
Yes.
American oak,
Yes.
ex-bourbon barrels. What do you get?
So a little bit of cocoa and vanilla.
Yes.
A lot of vanilla. The
Right.
cocoa is just, I don't even know where I'm drawing that from.
It's delicate. It's not.
It's not pungent. It's not at all.
Right.
But that element is there, but the vanilla is very pronounced.
I think this is a good educational malt as well, because if, as a member, you wanted to have this with your friends, the good ones will recognize an ex-bourbon barrel maturation there.
Right.
Because you're not getting those notes from the sherry butts or from the port pipes, right? This is truly super well integrated. I haven't even tasted it yet. But on the nose, honey, meat, vanilla,
Yes.
as you said, but also a little bit of clove. Come on, we gotta go
The
for it.
spices in there, yes.
You walked into this bakery, right? You've got this warm bacon notes. Apple strudel? Why not? Why not? I get almonds too. I mean, it's long, it's got weight, but it's also quite vibrant.
I like the body. I like the body a lot.
Crème anglaise.
Oh.
That's it. I nailed, sorry.
All right,
I
go
didn't mean to interrupt, but you know.
Okay.
I got that crème anglaise.
It
It's
is
just
what
like
it is.
popped in my head.
I would think that the more this sits in the glass, the more it would tend to open. As soon as you said crème anglaise, that came to my mind immediately. And you would start to get more of those buttery notes.
You can picture that crème anglaise, but you also have it in your mouth through that mouthfeel. Do you like it? Don't you
No,
like
this
it?
is beautiful because I like body and I like complexity, and it's everything that's in a Scotch. So yes, I am that person for whatever is good. May I ask you a question? Do you believe in terroir and spirits?
Of course, but for our viewers, how would you describe that terroir?
So it's essentially those geographic elements, the earth, the air, the sun, all of those elements that are very specific to an individual area. It's absorbing everything that's in that natural environment. So I would tend to think that this
No, I
probably
think this
does that
is,
beautifully.
it's a great description, and it's rare to find in the world of whiskey. So,
Right.
good example, I believe.
Indeed.
I like that. Now we're getting into American territory.
Right.
Now we're going far and we're going near.
Right.
We'll be in Brooklyn in a minute, but we'll start with Indiana and Tennessee. I know it's a little crazy. This boy here, Barrel Dovetail, 124.34 proof. Yes, it comes at cask strength, Should we worry?
Be mindful.
Thank you. These guys have sourced this whiskey, but they're being very clear about it. Because they tell you, just like they do on all the other ones, they tell you the makeup of this whiskey. So, whiskey finished in rum, port, and Dun Vineyards Cabernet barrels. All right.
Lots of sunshine in the glass.
Feels like it, right? Well, you'll feel the sunshine, let me tell you. I hope you're not gonna get a sunburn there. And distilled in Indiana and Tennessee.
Cheers. This is exciting.
Unique nose, for sure. But the nose is somewhat restrained.
Knowing that their rum cask, knowing about the port cask, knowing about the Cabernet, it's like, okay, that can give me the cocoa notes and the sweeter notes and the candied notes and the fruit notes.
I'm a sucker for rum.
Ooh.
Just like you, I love rum.
Wow.
I love all spirits, but
Sure.
I get the rum right off the bat
Yes.
on the nose. There's a very good impact
Yes.
of the rum here.
Sunshine.
Because you can feel it, but should we put water? I mean, you know this whole thing about adding water to your whiskey. Should we in this case?
If you want to live a little dangerously, maybe you could take a little sip first.
Let's do it.
So we'll take a little sip first, and then we'll see.
All right. I gotta tell you, in a blind tasting, I would hesitate between a rum and a bourbon. It's very rum forward, but beautifully done, I feel.
So interestingly enough, on the nose, the rum and bourbon. On the palate, the Cabernet and the port, for sure. This is a non-chill filtered spirit for sure.
Are you saying this because it feels full
Yes.
and big? There's also a very good texture.
Yes, all the oils and everything, all the flavor is fully present. Do you want to do a drop or two?
I do, of course.
How many?
And then, you know, while you're
many
doing
drops
this,
would
I
you-
almost feel like
1, 2.
it would fare pretty well on ice as well. I don't know, I feel like it's got that structure.
100% I agree
can
with
take
you.
it.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're totally
Thank you.
right. On the rocks, this is the one.
I think so,
This
but
is very much the one.
see the nose already opened up.
Yes. Yes, but because bringing down the strength, it allows your palate to really experience things that we didn't before.
I get more of that freshly charred wood, you know, when you're in the cooperage, and those barrels were just literally engulfed with flames.
For me, I am all creme brulee and cocoa and all of those dessert elements just came through.
And funny enough, it helped the nose a lot,
Yes.
but it did not diminish the quality of the palate.
It transitioned from the wine that I tasted on a first tasting without the water to the bourbon nose, the more traditional bourbon nose, let's put it that way. This is really very, very good.
This world of bourbon, this world of American whiskey in general, has got to be so beautiful over the last few years.
Indeed.
The way these guys do it is actually quite impressive because they never just take something from another producer, they modify it.
Right, they make it their own.
They either blend several types of whiskeys together and the result is really astonishing because most big whiskey distillers would never do this, right? Mixing a high rye with a wheater and this and that within their own production.
Sure.
These guys do it. They can. It's still pretty much a new thing.
Very,
now,
very well done.
this guy right here
Yes, indeed.
is a wonderful small
Yes,
that's big at the same time.
yes. The true essence.
And a true story that we have never shared, but I just got to know Colin, one of the founders of Kings County. When he wanted to make his own whiskey over in Brooklyn, he managed to remain, you know, the small house, the craft guy who makes a huge whiskey. And this is the proof that craft can be great. This is Empire Rye.
Yes.
Empire Rye.
Of course, the Empire State.
This is New York State, right? We can make it. A bunch of producers over in the state in New York decided to create a style of rye whiskey that would be a bit different. The beauty of this is that they've got to use local grains. When you drink this, you know this is the result of a New York agriculture. Real New Yorkers working the fields to produce rye, the grain that will be turned into a white dog that will be aged.
Yes.
And then in our glass. So that's my relationship with Kings County. Good friends and even better whiskey.
Very cool. So when I wrote Discovering the New York Craft Spirits Boom, Kings County was actually one of the distilleries that were featured. I also included the locations where each could be found and Brandy Library, of course.
Clearly.
Of course.
Yes.
That just happened to work out, right? Because look at this, 6 years later? Here we are.
And especially
enjoying this
when they come up
experience.
with stuff like that.
Indeed. Give it a whirl.
It's big. It's not big, it's huge.
I'm having such pleasure as I
Yeah.
do that. That is just a dream.
So
It
it
is
is,
absolutely magnificent.
the wood is just wrapping this whole chocolate pie,
Yes.
meats,
Yes.
hazelnut cake.
It put a nice pretty bow on it. Oh, this is beautiful.
There's so much in this glass. Well, anyway, let's just talk about what I'm supposed to do here. What you supposed? You preferred eggs over pancakes.
Right.
You love barbecue.
Yes.
Apple pie over maple syrup. Right. Lemon over ginger.
Yes,
And then you'd rather go for the gravitron.
for sure. That's fair.
And this is what you preferred.
I think
Am I
you're
right?
I
Wow.
think you are right.
Good.
This is everything that represents what I love in a spirit. The body, the complexity. I generally gravitate towards aged spirits, and it just does it in a very, very elegant way, but meaningfully. I feel like that's like my favorite adjective, right? It should be meaningful. Like
There is
this.
substance
Yes.
and it is meaningful.
Yes. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Done.
Yep.
I think so. We could give it another whirl. Life is too short to drink bad whiskey.
Right. Looks like I got you right. I read your mind.
Apparently you did.
Well, you know what?
Accurately.
Yes. But if you were an American whiskey member of Spirits Network, you would have got this and that because they got both bottles. They don't have to choose. One day it could be this, the next it could be that. All right?
Or if you're having a particularly long day,
Both?
you could start with one and finish with the other.
I like her.
Done. Cheers. Thank you for
It was a
having me.
really good time. I appreciate it. I trust I can leave these bottles here for you.
At your own risk, Flavian. At your own risk for sure.
Listen, I'll risk it. You deserve it.
Done. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
There's something liberating about taking out a piece of paper and making that bucket list of all the dreams you have for yourself. It's the first step to making them a reality. Just look at my maple syrup. For me, expanding my palate is always on that list. Trying new brands beyond my favorite go-to bottle. And there's no easier way to put a check mark next to that one than becoming a Spirits Network Bottle of the Month member. Once you take our in-depth palate quiz, I'll be sure to pick the right bottle for you. Join us next time when we are having a tequila takeover on Whiskey Wednesday. That's right, Spirits Network also has an agave membership where you can get a unique bottle of tequila every month, or you can opt in for mezcal as well. I would. Until then, drink better, not more. Cheers.